Welcome! Are you ready to dig up some bones? I hope so, because that's one of the specialties of this channel. We can dig up bones on damn near every topic under the sun, because most of the information that we've been spoon-fed all our lives is rubbish. It's designed to keep us in the land of Nod, eternal wanderings. Look at bones as relics of the past, relics that were once full of life and vitality. The good thing is, these bones are very much out there, and if one knows where and how to dig, we can liberate them. This leads me to a popular and trendy subject. What is it? It's what has been coined as the shift. Sounds catchy, right? But it's a bit vague, wouldn't you agree? So let's go dig up a few bones. We hear countless content creators, their guests, and a few people that we meet talking about the shift and how we are basically going to be existing in some utopia or even in nirvana. Well, not exactly. I'm going to bring in the components that take part in the shift. I will keep it on the lighter side by not digging down the wall to great depths. A shift, of course, is an altering of a frequency. We have all seen a video of a crystal wine glass sitting on a table, minding its own business. But then, somebody with a speaker that emits a high-pitched frequency points the speaker right at the crystal glass. What happens? It shatters into 100 pieces. Why? Because the crystal was not designed to withstand the high rate of vibration that the high-pitched frequency was emitting. Here is a verse found in biblical texts. Let's check it out. It says that flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdoms of heaven. Here is the quote as follows. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. This shows a distinction between the physical body we have now, which is perishable, and the spiritual body in the afterlife, which is imperishable. Our current physical form, flesh and blood, is not suited for an eternal spiritual reality, and therefore must be changed or transformed into a spiritual body to enter that kingdom. So if a newer, different body is required to enter the environment of the higher realms of the kingdom, would that not be a shift or shifting of sorts? Now let's return to physical Earth. Earth has been through many stages and evolutions since its manifestation began. From an etheric, gaseous, invisible, to our eyes anyway, environment, to eventually a ball of fire, to a molten gelatinous mass, to a volcanic-like environment. Eventually, it began to cool to the point where forms of life could begin. This is where mankind, meaning both woman and man, has been evolving for millions and millions of years. We have been through 4 root races so far. We are currently in root race number 5, the Aryan root race. Prior to our current root race, we were in the Atlantean root race, number 4. So, we have a great cosmic eviction notice. Many people believe that they will experience the fruits of the shift simply by being alive, and that their stay on Earth has been nothing but a free ride. No. The great cosmic eviction notice. Listen up, because I'm only going to say this in English once before I revert to interpretive dance. And nobody wants to see that. Everyone is buzzing about the shift. You see it all over the internet. People plastering their social media with glittery graphics about ascending to 5D. Talking about it like it's a cosmic Uber ride they ordered 3 incarnations ago that's finally pulling into the driveway. They think they're just going to wake up one Tuesday, their credit card debt will be gone, their ex will finally apologize, and they'll suddenly be telepathic vegan beings of pure light. Spoiler alert, sunshine. That's not a shift. That's a hallucination brought on by too much screen time and not enough protein. Here is the uncomfortable reality that the workshop sellers don't want to put on their sales page because it tanks conversion rates. Evolution is not a free ride. It's a forced march. We are currently living through a massive planetary vibration upgrade. The wattage on this rock is getting cranked up, and most of you are trying to run 220 volts of new reality through wiring that was installed during the Bronze Age. You are living inside the Walls of Jericho. And no, I don't mean a pile of rocks in the desert. I mean the fortress you built inside your own skull. Those walls are made of your precious opinions, your treasured victimhood, your need to be right, and that smug certainty that you are awake and everyone else is a sleepy little sheep. It's cozy behind those walls, isn't it? It's safe. It's also a prison. The shift is what happens when the universe decides your lease on that little ego fortress has expired. The trumpets are blowing, folks. The vibration is shaking the foundations. Those walls have to come down. And let me tell you, when the walls of your own stubbornness start crumbling, it doesn't feel like love and light. It feels like a demolition zone. It's dusty, it's loud, and you're gonna cough up a lot of old debris you didn't even know was stuck in your throat. So instead of sitting on your love seat in front of the fireplace with your favorite squeeze, why not spend that time polishing up your heart to make it presentable? Transitioning takes work. It takes sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice. You want to expand your consciousness? You have to break the container it's currently sitting in. Which brings me to the guy with the boat. Everyone loves the story of Noah because they think it's about a cute floating petting zoo. It's not. It's the original survival manual for a vibrational shift. Look around. We are living in the days of Noah right now. The materialism, the distraction, the endless noise. That's the old world. It's heavy. It doesn't float. Now pay attention to the difference between Noah and his neighbors. His neighbors were waiting for a free ride. They were busy living their best 3D lives, right up until the water hit their ankles. Noah didn't sit around manifesting an ark or having Archangel Michael on speed dial. He didn't make a vision board of a boat. He grabbed a hammer. For decades, while everyone else laughed at him for preparing for rain on a sunny day, he was sweating. He was working. He was building a structure, esoterically. He wasn't building a wooden box. He was building an ark of consciousness. He was constructing the inner integrity, the mental discipline, and the spiritual buoyancy required to survive a massive transition. Noah was an Atlantean. And we all know what happened to Atlantis. And that's the rub. When the shift hit, when the floods came, Noah floated. Not because God liked him better, but because he had built something that was capable of floating. His neighbors perished because they were tied to rocks of their own making. It's just physics. So here is your jolt. The rain started a while ago. You can feel it. You feel crazy, anxious, and tired because the atmosphere is changing and you haven't acclimated. Stop waiting for the aliens to save you. Stop thinking that all the YouTube gurus are gonna save you. Put on your big boy pants. Stop waiting for a solar flash to magically activate your DNA while you sit on the couch eating chips. If you want to ride this shift, you have to build the vessel. You have to tear down your internal walls of Jericho, of judgment and fear, and use those bricks to build an ark of integrity and awareness. Spanky, is that you I hear in the back row? Is there a moon out and a breeze blowing from the south? Grab a hammer, get to work. The water is rising, and nobody is coming to build your boat for you. You are responsible for you.